Welcome back to the channel, everybody. The Real Rant Reviewer, back with you. Your only friend, your best friend. Yes, the man of your dreams, the woman of your dreams, the person of your nightmares. We're back with a massive rant review. An awesome one, guys. On One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 1975 film starring Jack Nicholson. That's all you need to know. Now, listen, let me tell you the history. I go through my thoughts of the movie. And then, of course, I freestyle the plot. And we wrap this awesome rant up. Check this out. Now, with this movie, you got Jack Nicholson. He starts out, he's early in his career. It's Academy Award winning movie. Of course, you see Danny DeVito, an early Brad Dourif as well. But let's focus on Jack Nicholson. And his performance is amazing. So, the plot is amazing. The story behind this film and why it's happening is great. And at the end of this movie, you will be affected, you will be touched, and you will be emotional. And that was what the movie is accomplishes to do, and it does it well. So I did not give this movie a chance. Of course, it's this 1975 film. I was not alive at the time. Years later, in the late 90s, I able to watch this film. And I could get through it. See, guys, you got to sit down. They play it on TV a lot. Please give it a chance. Watch it through all the way. You will be pleasantly surprised. Of course, Jack Nicholson makes you feel for him. He's a great performer, and also the other cast of characters. But there's also a nurse in this film that does a great job. I have to give her credit. Nurse Fletcher. Everybody knows her. You know, I think it's Fletcher. Yes, Nurse Fletcher. Ratchet. Excuse me, Nurse Ratchet. Why could I fuck that up? Nurse Ratchet is a really something to deal with, and Nat Nicholson goes head to head with her, and this is where the movie reaches its climax and it comes to its head and boiling point between Miss Ratchet and Jack Nicholson. A great dynamic, and give credit to Miss Ratchet on her performance. Yes. So let's get in. I said enough already, guys. I freestyle my thoughts. Let's get into this plot. So basically, you meet Jack Nicholson here. He's in jail, but he's found a way, guys, to transfer himself to a mental hospital instead. So doing that, of course, it's more lax and it's more chill. So he acts like he's crazy in jail to get transferred to this mental hospital. He executes it. It works. He's there. You see him arrive. He meets the patients. You meet some of these patients and stuff like that. And when you meet these patients, these cast of characters like DeVito and Dwarf, they're not really too mentally disabled guys, if you want to say that. They're like normal people, honestly. They just have a little bit of a problem in certain areas of understanding or doing. So Nicholson picks up on this and says the way the Miss Ratchet and the employees, especially Miss Ratchet, the nurse, treats the other people, Nicholson doesn't like it. It rubs him the wrong way because she doesn't care for them in any way. She doesn't care to rehabilitate them or help them. Okay, guys, that's me. Just drug them up, give them shock therapy back in those days where they, fry your brain and calm you down. And don't try to really rehabilitate you, put you on medication, drug you up, etc. So Nicholson sees this and he tries to get involved more and do more human activities with everyone. Take them out. Of course, he gets in trouble for taking them out on a bus ride somewhere the first time ever in a long time. One of the guys has never experienced a woman. And he fulfills that in the end for him, and card games and watching TV and just experiencing human life. But Nicholson forgets that he gets wrapped up in this so much about what he's doing for other people, which is great, that he forgets about himself, see? And what situation he put himself in with Miss Ratchet. You can't do that. You can't disrupt what's happening, and that's what he is, a disruption. And Miss Ratchet has an order to things, and he is a fucking problem. And he must be fucking dealt with. And he is dealt with. So, but and the same for Nicholson goes with Miss Ratchet. She's the problem here. This place would be better off without Miss Ratchet. So, this is it. So anyways, you follow Nicholson, man, and it's a good camaraderie, guys. But this is why it's all coming to it is. So one night, Mr. Nicholson is going to escape, guys. He's like, listen, I had enough of Miss Ratchet. I'm fucking out of here. And there's this Native American man. He's huge. And he's just very docile, very quiet. But he likes Nicholson. They get along. But he doesn't get along with nobody but Nicholson. And he's saying, hey, where are you going? Take me with you, whatever. But Nicholson, nah, I'll come back to you. I'll come back or whatever. So But Nicholson looks back at his friends and he says, "Okay, let's have one last hurrah. You're right. He loves them. He's grown to love them, like you have grown to love them and Mr. Nicholson." So you're like, "All right, one last hurrah." But you have a sense that Miss Ratchet don't fucking play, bro. And you fuck up. Anyways, they have a party. Mr. Nicholson gets one of Brad Dorff, one of the patients, laid for the first time in his life. He's a very young man. He gets him laid. It's a very cool experience for him. Everyone is just drunk. They're partying. They fall asleep. They pass out. The next morning, the workers walk in. Mrs. Ratchet is there. She finds the young man that had relations with the woman, and she threatens him that, "I will call your mother right now and tell her what you did." And as soon as she does that, he's mentally unstable, guys. When she leaves the room, he's able to grab a piece of sharp glass and cut his throat open wide. And he cuts himself open wide at the fear of even the thought of his mother of hearing of what he's done. That's how mentally he was in there for these problems, guys. And Miss Ratchet triggered the death of the suicide of this young man, and he died violently and slowly. And Mr. Nicholson sees this. They try to restrain, the workers try to restrain everyone from getting into the room. Mr. Nicholson sees it. Mr. Nicholson, you can see his face. Mrs. Ratchet is telling everyone, "Get away." Mr. Nicholson is in fury. He grabs Mrs. Ratchet, chokes her almost to death. He's able to almost kill her because all the patients are just standing around until one of the workers hits him and knocks him out. After this, he's knocked out. You do not see Mr. Nicholson. His name is Mac in the movie. Excuse me, guys. You don't see Mac, Mr. Nicholson, for a very long time. They take him away. So the big guy there, like I described, his friend, his only friend, the big dude, is really upset. You can tell he's looking for Mr. Nicholson, and everybody thinks Mr. Nicholson escaped. That's what it is. They all think he escaped. So they're all big rumor out there that Mr. Nicholson escaped. Mac escaped. He did it. He did what he said he came to do. See, guys? But one night, Mr. Nicholson is brought in at the cover of night. He's wheeled in to a bed. And the big Native American man, his friend, goes up to him and tries to talk to him and says, "Mac, Nicholson, hey, what's up, man? You ready to escape? You ready? You did it. We're ready." He doesn't respond. Mr. Nicholson's not responding. So at that point, the man knows that Mr. Nicholson has undergone a surgery called a lobotomy at that time to remove part of his brain so he will not function anymore the same. He will function as basically, yes, a vegetable, a zombie. He will be no more Jack. He will be no more Mac. Then, as you see here in this picture, guys, he picks him up. He embraces him. To see a big man cry out of this whole movie, he doesn't cry or show any emotion until this point. It's amazing. I'm gonna cry. It's amazing. It's an amazing It's another amazing scene. And the music. Let me not neglect the music. The music was beautiful as it kicks in, and you realize Mr. Nicholson is basically dead, guys. Because what happens is the man kills Mr. Nicholson mercifully, takes him out by suffocation of a pillow, very easily, very quietly, very unpainfully, to give Mr. Nicholson his piece of escape. Because right after that, he escapes himself out of a window. And the man, the big Native American man, thanks to Nicholson, he's able to escape, get the guts up to get the fuck out, and live his life with freedom. Thanks to Mr. Nicholson and his efforts, this man was able to escape and live his life to full. So, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Academy Award-winning film, Best Picture, I believe. Mr. Nicholson, everyone involved, great film. I suggest you watch it. The Real Rant Reviewer with you once again. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you.